I see this and I get asked this a lot. TSA security, what to avoid, how do I get through faster, how do I not look like an amateur? And boy, have I seen some crazy stuff. I've taken thousands of flights and I've been through thousands of TSA security checkpoints all over the world and here in the USA, and they're always different. It's never the same, but there are some key things that you can do to make sure you're a pro, make sure you get through there fast. And these are 10 mistakes to avoid going through TSA security. Number 1 is clothing. Your dress that you wear, the jacket you wear, whatever you're wearing. These are some tips on that to avoid, to get you through security faster. So a lot of people layer when they travel, right? Especially women. They don't know if it's going to be cold or hot. So my southern accent came out there a little bit, you know, they don't know if they're going to be cold or hot. Anyways, they need to be layered, but this is my recommendation. Do not layer before you go to the airport. If you want layers like a sweatshirt and a jacket or a hoodie and some other things, put them in the top of your backpack or in the top of your suitcase. Preferably the backpack so they're easily accessible. You want to go through security as streamlined as possible. Guys, don't wear belts if you don't have to. They will mostly make you take it off. It's hit or miss. It's 50-50 and it's a pain. Wear shoes that are easy to slide on and off unless you're pre-checked. You will have to take your shoes off. And if you have like long laces and all this stuff, it's just going to be a hassle. Not only for you, but for everybody behind you. My friend, move along, you know? Oh my goodness. And another thing too is like, just make sure that you have everything like streamlined down, right? Your shirt, your pants, your shoes come off really easily. I recommend wearing socks. I see people not wearing socks. I don't know. Those floors are not clean. I recommend wearing socks, but that's up to you. That's whatever your preference is. That won't speed up things or make, that's just a little extra bonus tip. But don't layer. Don't, because then they'll make you take it off. You can't go through security with all these layers on, so you have to take it all off, your jacket, your hoodie, and it's just more time consuming. It's frustrating. You got to use more bins, all these things, right? Another tip is packing. Number 2 is packing. Everything that you need to take out should be in one pocket if possible. Any tech, laptops, iPads, cameras, stuff like that have got to come out, right? Anything like liquids, a lot of airports want you to pull your liquids out, like in London, Frankfurt, a lot of airports want to do that. So you put them in a clear bag, you put them right there next to your laptop or in the same vicinity, so you can just grab it all out at one time. It makes it so much faster. Any kind of like drone or anything like that, that also would need to come out and go in there. So just have it right there. So it's just like boom, boom, boom into one bin or 2 bins, whatever, how much ever you have, and boom, boom, boom. It's just going to make things faster. You're not going to have to get rescanned, all these things that can come up. I've seen so many people with like pulling things out of this bag and pulling things out of that bag. And then, oh, I forgot about this, and oh, my pockets, and just have everything streamlined. Because when you go to that line, you want it for your own sake, because you don't know if your time's going to be tough, if security is going to be really long and you're tight. You also just want to get through it, right? You just want to get through it and help other people get through it. So when you're fast, you're helping someone else behind you get through faster, right? So just make sure it's all streamlined. Number 3 is arrival to airport and timing. This is a big one. I get this question a lot. I've done a lot of videos on like parking at the airport, when to get there, stuff like that. This all matters based on what your situation is. So I'm going to give you some tips for you, and hopefully one of these will be your situation. I recommend if you have checked baggage and you're in the domestic of the United States flight, get there 2 hours beforehand. Because you got to go stand in line. If you're not first class, you've got to, or priority in some way through status, you have to go stand in line. And a lot of times those lines are long. You have to get a tag. You have to weigh it. You have to check it in. They have to, see your ID. It's just time consuming. For the most part, you want some extra time there. If it's an early morning flight, Monday through Friday, most of the time TSA security is full in the morning because those are the cheaper flights and a lot of people commute to work and stuff. So be careful that there's going to be a longer security line unless you're pre-checked or clear or priority. You want to get there like 2 hours before time, just to give yourself extra time to get through there and not be stressed. This is coming from someone who hates to wait, who wants to get there right as it's time to board, gets on the plane, sits down, take off. That's what I have pretty much perfected most of the time, to the point that a lot of times I arrive right before they're fixing to close the door, because I have a seat, I have dedicated space, unless you're in Southwest. Now, Southwest is a whole different issue. I have a whole video on that. We won't talk about that here. If you're domestic and you're carry-on only and you're Ubering to the airport, I recommend getting there like an hour, 10 minutes beforehand. Most days are going to be fine. You're going to be dropped off. You're going to walk right through security. Boom, boom, boom. Now again, Monday through Friday, especially Mondays mornings and Thursday evenings are going to be super packed. Holidays like spring break and stuff are going to be packed. You just got to keep that in mind. I just did a video on 12 travel hacks. On that video, I mentioned FlightAware app. It gives you TSA security checkpoint times. Be sure and watch that video. If you're going to park and have a checked bag, then you should get there 2.5 hours early, because sometimes it's hard to find parking. Sometimes the parking's a little further than you thought it was going to be. You have to walk a little ways, and you still got to deal with the checked bag and stuff. If you're going to park and do carry on only, 2 hours is probably enough. You still want to, you'll know your airport. I know mine. I know where I'm going to go. But even the other day I drove and I thought, oh, I'll just find a spot. And it was like, I don't know why, I guess because something was going on, but there was no spot. So I drove for like 15 minutes to find a spot and finally found one. Then to walk a little ways, it just can get out of hand really fast, and then you get all stressed and you get all anxiety. So just these are my times that I think you'll be safe in. 3 hours if it's international, checking a bag and parking. Probably 3.5, because you have to find a parking spot. You have to get in. You have to check your passports, check your bags, get your boarding passes usually, because they can't issue boarding passes till they check your passport. And then get through security, go to your gate. International flights board a little differently too, usually earlier than domestic flights, because it's such a long flight. And if you're in business class especially, you'll get boarded first, or first class, you'll get boarded first. And you want to go in and get settled in on your flights. So 3.5 hours should be good. 4 is stretching it. We've never got there at 4. And we're usually at plenty of time with 3.5. We Uber though most of the time for long haul flights. If you're in business or first class and you can get there probably about 2.5 hours early, because you have priority lanes both to check your bags and get your passports checked, and also through security. If you're business class or first class, in most airports, especially international airports, you're going to have a priority lane that gets you through security, gets you through everything faster, and gets you to the plane. In Thailand, we flew business over there, ANA, and that was our first experience in Thailand, and we were just surprised. The hotel took us to the airport, and then they had an escort that took us through this private back room called business class security. There were like 10 people back there. We just checked in, boom, and they escorted us right to our gate, and we were there in like 30 minutes, like from getting to the airport through security. So if you're in business or first, you're going to have a little bit of speed there that you wouldn't anywhere else. Even in JFK, we were business, and there was like this long line, but we just went and we were like the second person because we were business class. There's a priority lane. So it does help. And don't think that I'm spending tons of money on business class. This whole channel is about traveling in style on a budget. I'm against debt. I'm against just wasting money. So I find great deals. We also have a whole miles thing we're doing where we can get free flights through miles, through credit cards, and through other programs. So I'm going to do videos on all that. That's what this channel is all about though. It's helping you travel in style. You don't have to travel like in a horrible, miserable way just because you don't have a lot of money, or you want to save money. I want to save money and invest my money wisely too, but also do trips. So that is what I study and I research for hours and hours and sometimes months. And I'm building out itineraries and everything to give you guys, to help you guys out on trips, because I'm super detailed about where we're going, when we're going, because I just like to know all the steps. And I just did a whole video on 12 travel hacks. There's some tips on that in that video, so be sure and check that out. Okay, back to this video, sorry. Just wanted to give you some quick tips on arrival, because a lot of people ask me, like, especially on long haul flights, international flights, what do I do? Where do I go? How do I get there? When do I get there? And so I hope that helps you out. It gives you some time frames at least to help you out. And then you know your traffic in your city. It's going to take me 2 hours to get to the airport or 30 minutes to get to the airport. So you got to factor that in as well. But these times are like when you get to the airport. So you should be at the airport at 3 hours if you're parking and checking bags for an international long haul flight. Okay, hope that helps. Number 4 is documents ready. Okay, so I've seen this so many times. So many times. Me and her are like, oh my goodness, let's change lanes. Make sure that you have your passports, your boarding passes, or if you're in America flying US, make sure you have your driver's license out. Just be ready right there. I use travel wallet. I have one for every trip we take. We put our passports, we put our money, like our exchange money, whether it's euros or Thai baht or whatever it is, dirham for Dubai, any, like a pen in there. I do all that, and I have that in that wallet, so I can just pop it out, doot, 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 and the guy can check it, and then we're through. This helps you and the people behind you. Remember, this is all about a spirit of excellence, courtesy. Like, you want to be a pro for you because it benefits you and it benefits the people behind you. You want to not be that person that's like, one time we were stressed because we were a little late. We were still figuring things out in this international airport. It had taken us a little longer, and we had to do all these tests that we didn't know we had to do to get to get the visa. And we were standing there, and this person's like, "Oh, I know it's in here somewhere. Let me find." And she's literally digging through her suitcase and backpack right there in security line. He finally is like, "Ma'am, can you step aside? Because there's like this line of people that need to go." And she's like, I'll find it. He's like, "Ma'am, please step aside." Like, it's just rude. It's rude and unprepared, and it's an amateur move. Like, you got to show some stuff to fly. So just be ready with it. Have it all there. I'll put that link, all these tips. If there's anything that I use, I'm going to put the link right down below in the description, right below the video. Some of them are affiliate links, so I make a little money to support the channel. I appreciate when you use those, but you don't have to. I'm just trying to help you guys do what I've learned works. We're about to take a big trip to the Philippines and to Bali, and I'm doing the same thing. I do it on every trip. It just makes it so much easier. Another big one that I've seen is number 5 is keep your hands free. Like, even if you have kids and stuff, make sure that your hands aren't full of like the documents, water bottles, backpacks, or purses, or all. I've seen so many people just like, oh my goodness. And then when they get up there, they're like, let me put it all down and hand you my document, and then pick it all back up. And then they go to security and they're like, let me get everything out of every bag, something out of every. Don't do that. Be streamlined. Think about it before you leave. Like, what do I need when I get there? Put that in your carry-on. What do I need while I'm on the plane? Put that in your personal item, like a purse, a backpack, something like that you can get to easily. If you're only taking a carry-on, put something right at the top you can get to, or something you can loop around the handle so you can just take it on the plane with you to your seat. Just keep it simple. I promise you, this is going to help you, and everyone behind you is going to thank you. They're going to think you're a pro, and they're going to thank you. Another big one is liquids. Water bottles. Even if you take like a tumbler like this, like a Yeti tumbler I travel with, especially on long haul flights because I want my water to be cold, make sure that when you're going through TSA security, they are empty. If you have a water bottle like this, you got to chunk it. But do so before you get into security, because a lot of times in Germany, I had this full of water, and we landed. I didn't know we were going back through security again. I didn't know. It was my first time in Frankfurt, and the guy wouldn't let me dump it out. He made me sit there in line and chug it, and I've heard other people doing that too. And then everyone's just watching you just chug this water down. Don't be that guy. Don't be me. Don't be that guy. Don't be that girl. Make sure that your water bottles are empty and you throw away your plastic water bottles, because they won't let you take them through. And sometimes they consider it waste or something, so they want to make sure you drink it. Number 7 is be aware of your surroundings. So when you go through security and they're like, okay, go to one of the lanes, be mindful of a family with kids. You know, God love them that they get to travel. I'm happy about that. I think families should travel, but be mindful, especially if they're little kids, that it's going to take them longer to get through security, right? They've got to take care of their stuff, and then they got to take care of their kids' stuff. Look for that business traveler. Look for that business traveler who's, you know, streamlined. Get behind them. Look for a single person you feel like has that feeling of confidence. It won't always work, but if you're aware of your surroundings, you're watching what lane. Another tip too, a lot of new airports have one lane that you don't have to take anything out. You don't have to take your laptop out. You don't have to take all your electronics out. We always go that lane, even if it's longer, because it's such less hassle to get everything out. We can just plop our backpack in, our carry-on, and our shoes and phone and stuff, and boom, we're through. Number 8 is a great tip. I love this tip. Smooth. Stay calm. Stay collected. I don't care if you're about to miss your flight. It's your fault. Don't blame other people. Don't get all revved up. Don't get all anxiety and begging people to go through earlier and trying to, don't skip the line. Oh my goodness, how many times I have been like 5 minutes before my flight and I see people like skip the line. I'm like, I've been standing here, like I've got to go, but they're so rude that they care about them more than others. And they try to skip the line, then security has to come over and be like, hey, you got to go to the back, or everyone starts yelling at them because no, it's just rude. And I know that everybody's in the same boat, or most people are in the same boat, that they're worried about, can I get through? Will I make it? This is something that a pro traveler does. They stay calm. They know that they're either going to make it or they're not. And guess what? 99% of the time, I make it. Even when I think I'm not going to make it. There's been one time, one time I think, I can't remember, out of all the thousands of flights I've taken that I've missed the flight. I walked up, they closed the door, and I was like, it's right there, the plane's right there, let me in. She's like, it's too late, can't open the door again because of security reasons. And it sucks, you know, but you know what you do? They walk over and they say, we'll get you on the next flight. An hour later, 2 hours later. One time I showed up, there was 2 times, I showed up in a smaller airport, a small little hick town airport, and my flight was at 9. So I got there at 8, I was fine, but they closed security at 6 p.m. So you had to be at the airport before 6 p.m. and you weren't taking the flight you paid for. And we talked to everybody and they're like, I mean, it was like a ghost town. And we could see the gate because it was a smaller airport and people were like over there, but they wouldn't let us through. And so I just had to call the airline. They had to rebook the flight for the next day. It's a little bit of a pain, but stuff happens. This tip is, I've seen so many people get all revved up, even on planes, like when we're late, when we're delayed or something and we're landing into the layover flight. They're like, my flight's about to take off. They get all, they like run down the aisle, or they beg people to like let them through. They push through. None of that's going to help you. I promise you it's not going to help you. You may think it's going to help you, but I've been there. It's not going to help you. If you stay calm, people are more likely to help you, more likely to be friendly, more likely to assist you. If you're friendly and calm, they're going to respond to that, to happy people, right? If you get all stressed out and you're sweating and you're all like, you're just going to look like a mad person. You're going to look like an amateur, and you're going to be an amateur. So just keep it cool, be smooth, and you'll make it or you won't. Tip number 9, pro versus amateur. So this is something that I see a lot, that definitely immediately separates the amateur and the pro. Maybe not even amateur is a good word, like just the rude versus the unrude. I don't know. But no matter what your situation is, be polite. If you see an empty bin, put it away. Don't grab your stuff out and just leave your empty bins there. I can't count how many times I've seen this. And all it does is just stack up everybody else's stuff and delay them. Like, be courteous enough to just take the empty bin and put it away. Like, it just takes a second, you know? This is that spirit of excellence I was talking about. Like, you're gonna have a great flight if you do these things. If you do all these tips I talk about on this channel, you're gonna have an amazing flight, whether it's a long haul flight or a short flight. But these are where the rubber meets the road. The details make you a pro versus an amateur. Be nice. Be kind. If you have a problem or you need to talk to someone at security, at TSA security, or even at the customer service flight desk or at the gate or at the counter when you're getting your boarding pass, be kind. Be nice. Those people will help you. Those people can have the power to change your world if you're nice to them. They won't always do that, but you're definitely not going to get anywhere if you're rude. They're going to just shut down on you. They're going to make your life harder. And they can do that as well. Maybe I know from experience. I don't know. Tip number 10 is something that a lot of people don't think about. This is a little bonus tip, but it's 10. How to get through security faster. These tips will all help you get through security faster, but how do I skip that long line I see over there? If you're on Southwest, if you do the upgrade to A1 to 15, which normally ranges $30 to $90, you immediately get priority lanes in most airports. That immediately gives you like a first class priority lane. You can also do something called Clear. They give you faster access. You can also do Clear. They get you through faster than PreCheck. You can do PreCheck. It's about $90, I think, for 5 years. It's pretty easy, pretty simple to do. You don't have to take your shoes off. You have a special lane. It's usually empty. So it's for pro travelers. You only want to do that if you fly more than like 5 times a year. Clear is a little bit more expensive. You only want to do that if you fly 5 or 10 times more a year. It's just not worth it otherwise. But a lot of times, even like on Spirit Airlines, if you're booking and you pay a little extra, you can get priority security. That means you get to priority lane. Little tips like that, you can spend $20, $30, maybe $50. It matters if you get there late or you get there and there's a long line and you want to get through that security faster. Most of the time I'm doing something like this when I book my flights, even on Frontier or Spirit on budget airlines. Almost always in Southwest, I'll either pay for it in the app or I'll run over to the gate if I see a long line. It doesn't get you through security, like all the checking of your bags and everything, but it gets you through that line faster and gets you to, you know, getting checked, going through the scanner, getting out and getting to your gate. I hope this video has helped you. I hope it makes your life easier. I hope you learned something too. A lot of new flyers, first-time flyers out there trying to make sure they know what to do. And don't worry about it. If you're a first-time flyer, thank God you're sitting here watching a video like this and you're getting ready, because there's so many people, you're going to see them that don't think about other people. They don't think about themselves, how to make it easier on them. They don't think, they just go and then they try to figure it out, and it causes all this backlog. And so I just hope this helps you. I hope you have an amazing flight. I hope you're going somewhere fun and adventurous, or going to spend time with friends or family, something like that. But even if it's for work, these things will help you, because I've done them. I've flown for work many times, and I needed to have some kind of processes and rhythms, and that's where I came up with a lot of this stuff. I love seeing your beautiful faces. If you want more videos like this, hit that subscribe button. It's free to do so. Cancel at any time. Become part of the Zackus family. And until the next time, travel safe, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.